It ain't exclusive if it ain't an EMLN exclusive. It's your boy BQ. We right here in the heart of Silicon Valley, right here in downtown San Jose, right out Sofa District. And today we're in for a special treat, y'all. You know, the podcast is back. We booming, we conversating, we dissecting topics, but most importantly, we getting some free game. Well, at least it's free for now. You know what I'm saying? For some folks in the future.
You know what I'm saying? Until you get a Patreon, then we could kind of start.
Patreon, we talking.
You know what I'm
Profit
saying?
splits.
Yeah. Extra content.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's eventually the goal. You know what I'm saying? We're gradually working our way there. But I want to make a special introduction to my guest today, Xarina in the flesh. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. You know what I'm saying? I'm vibing. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually glad that you came. We got an opportunity to unpack some of your story and talk about some of the dope shit you're working on right now. But yeah, no, I see you moving out there in the town, but you know, a lot of people, you know, they see you out there for so long, they forget that you from San Jose.
Like born and bred.
Born and raised.
Okay.
In the tank.
Listen.
So yeah, thanks for coming today. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I've been wanting to come here.
So when was the last time you did a podcast? Because I know you do like productions for people.
I know. I haven't been a guest on a podcast since well before COVID. Maybe shit. I can cuss on here.
Oh,
okay.
It's a
maybe
Breakfast
like
Club.
Yeah, like I probably haven't been on a podcast since like 2017 or 18.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you hear it first, folks. We got that exclusive right there.
Yes.
No, that's real.
This is my first podcast back.
Yep. So 2017 to now. So we're talking about like 5 years.
Yeah.
Almost 6 years. 2023.
Yeah, it's been a long. I stopped doing anything for a minute because I was dropping music, and I kind of stepped back from music and got on the production and back end side of things.
Yeah.
And so I haven't really been like in the spotlight per se, but I'm back. Fuck
She's
that.
like, I'm in the spotlight though.
Yeah.
I could have swore I see you in the spotlight.
Fun. Yeah, it was fun to be like quiet in behind the scenes, but I'm like, I could do all three.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm back to drop music again. I'm doing the studio, and then I want to do podcasting.
That's what I'm talking about. Creativity at its finest.
You know, it's just media. That's what we do.
Yep. I wanted to ask you, like, what sparked it? Like, you know what I'm saying? You said, you know, you did a transition. You kind of took a step back, and then you did the behind-the-scenes stuff. Like, what sparked that?
Well, I learned how to engineer kind of in my early 20s, I guess I could say.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school, learned how to engineer. I wasn't trying to be an engineer. I just
learning this craft.
It was just, I was already making music, and I was going to community college. Shout out my best friend, Kiana. Like, you could get a bag for going to school. I said, what? FAFSA? What's that? What's a FAFSA?
That bog waiver?
You know what I'm saying? A bog waiver? What? So I was just like, okay, I guess I could go to school. And I didn't know what to take. I didn't know. I never dreamed of going to college. I was never like a scholar for real.
Yeah.
I didn't really care. I graduated. I did enough to graduate, but I was never trying to take it there. I never imagined that. And then I moved with my auntie, and she was like, you can live here, but you're going to need to go to school. And I was like, oh. What am I going to do at school? Like, I'm a rap star. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what the fuck I need school for? So I ended up going to DVC in Pleasant Hill. And I was just taking regular classes, and then I saw that they had, like, Pro Tools classes and, like, all that type of shit. And I was like, oh, what?
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, and I was like, I should learn how to use Pro Tools. Like, I don't know how. And so I took a Pro Tools class, definitely failed my first semester because I never went to school. And then I was like, okay, next semester I'm going to do it. And I took it seriously. And then I took like a production class, and I took like an entertainment law class. And I kind of just did the whole bundle. And I ended up getting an AA in music industry studies, while I was making music still.
Wow.
And so it helped.
A lot of juggling too.
It was, but I learned how to record myself. And that was probably the best investment I've ever made, like, period. I encourage and implore all artists to at least learn a little bit.
Yeah.
Just so you can at least communicate with your engineer better. So I ended up, the studio that I was recording with at, he was like, yeah, you want to start, like, taking sessions just for some extra bread? Because I was working, like, little jobs and shit.
Yeah.
And so I did that. I started taking sessions while still doing my own music, and then I just got good at it.
Yeah.
And I got introduced to Fab, and then I kind of took it on one with him because he works really fast.
Wow.
And I was like, I want to work fast. And so I got faster and better, and then I started working with more and more people to the point where I didn't need a job anymore. Like, that was my job. And then I could still, like, put that money into music.
Yeah.
So
how did you, because I want to take it back because I was you were unpacking a little bit like the whole school and then how you came from there. How soon you said Fab? You talking Mr. Fab, right?
Yeah, Mr. Fab.
Okay, so
yeah.
you got connected with him early on. Then is this before StudioX? Then essentially.
Yeah, no, this was way before. This was so the first studio I ever worked at was called Tune Studios. So there was like a label, a Bay Area label. Shout out Jeff. That's what we're talking about.
Yep.
Shout
out Jeff.
He had this label called Stay Tuned, ENT. And so back in the day, there was a bunch of like older rappers on there, and I was around, but I was the kid. I was like little sis, like. So I would just want to be included. Like I would just
like interning.
Type shit. But this was before I was ever an engineer though.
I see.
And so when I was an artist, like, I mean, we could he was like fake weight managing me a little bit. Yeah. And, you know, putting me on shows and, you know, back in this time I was doing street lows and just anything that he had a booth at or was involved with printing. He would bring me as his artist. Wow. And so
that's huge.
Yeah, so that's how I got tight with him, and I recorded at his studio in Oakland, and that was called Tune Studios. And then I went to school, and then that's how it kind of turned into me engineering full time.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy because that's like before 2017. We're talking about
for sure.
We're talking about the journey.
Yeah, no, this was I started taking on sessions maybe when I was, 22? I'm 29 now, so 7 years ago.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I think I've been doing this like 7 years.
Seasoned vet.
Yeah, for sure.
It's fair to say. I think it's very, very
I'm like an OG, but not an OG all the way yet.
You're like a mini OG.
Yeah, I'm like a little OG. I'm like a baby OG. Yeah, it's actually crazy. I've been doing this shit.
Baby OG.
For Kiana, how long has it been? My best friend Kiana back there. We was 15, 16. Wow. I've been like active. Yes, I was an active artist from like age 15, 16.
Wow.
Like I used to print out, I used to go to my mom's job and I remember I stole this laptop. I can't write statute limitations. So I stole this MacBook and I put Pro Tools. I got some crack Pro Tools on it. I mean, no, excuse me, Photoshop. And I used to like design because I took graphic design. Oh, kids, take a graphic design class in school. Like, but easy. Skills. So I took like 2 graphic design classes, one in middle school, one in high school. So I knew enough. So I was making my own flyers and stuff. So I go to my mom's job. I would print out hella flyers, cut it up, fold it, do hella burnt CDs with like my 2 or 3 songs on it, put it in this paper sleeve that I made that I designed with me on the cover talking about, what did I say? Best female rapper under 18 in the world. I said hella, it was hella shit. It was hella wordy. It was hella fucking wordy. But yeah, I used to go to library. I used to go to the mall. And this was like high school. And I used to sell CDs. And I've been hustling for a really, really long time. It's been a minute. Yeah.
Wow. Let's break that down a little bit because I love these stories, like these ones in particular, where you're actually breaking down your process early on and the hustle that it took.
A lot.
So, you know, this time period, this is before streaming. I mean, maybe streaming was prevalent, but it wasn't the main source for like
YouTube was still kind of new.
Yeah, YouTube was new. So, like, the fact that you learned graphic designing at an early age.
Yes.
You made your design and then you got it printed. Like that, even that step alone, some artists till this day don't even do that shit.
Right.
So like that, he was already ahead of that shit early on. So I do want to take it back to Stay Tuned, right?
Okay.
So that, I was telling you off camera, like I met Jeff and he was telling me his side, like how he started, you know, Stay Tuned. He was showing me videos on YouTube of like their tours in Atlanta and like going to all these places, and he was just breaking it all down. Like, you know, you had to wrap the cars, he had to, you know, press the CDs, do the whole campaigning.
Whole different game.
So that's a whole different game now. But you know, even though it's technically outdated, some people will say it's still prevalent to today. Like we talk about LaRussell all the time. Like LaRussell's been killing it, doing stuff that people would do back in the day. Still, you know, playing vinyl and
had LaRussell been out to this capacity 10 years ago, 15 years ago, he's been doing all the same shit.
Exactly.
It's just a different, and you know what, when I was rapping, because I started maybe at 15, 16, I watched this shit change in front of my eyes. It was just like a huge shift maybe around like 2012.
Yep. Agreed.
Like there was a huge fucking shift because I was a teenager doing it this old school way, and then everything kind of moved into this streaming. Everything got a little more accessible. Apps. Everyone has smartphones. There was more technology. So I was raised on this super guerrilla marketing grind mode
Yeah.
shit. And then it kind of transitioned into like, you don't really have to like go out and pass flyers out.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a waste of time. Yeah, you can just like sponsor a post. You can you can just like make a sponsored ad. And but the grind in me was like, no, fuck that.
Like, that's not enough.
Yeah, that's not like, no, I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? It took me a really long time to get out of passing out flyers. And every now and then, shit, if we need to, I still do. I still print out flyers too. What? I'm not afraid of it, but it was just interesting to watch how everything switched from you had to go to the CD man and get CDs pressed up because you needed to go to run to Vegas and go on that little fucking bridge and go sell CDs real quick to see, why the fuck would you press a CD? My laptop can't even play this.
Yeah, I can't even accept CDs.
Yeah, I can't.
Some cars don't even got it.
Yeah, my car doesn't even have a CD. Like, what am I gonna do? So it just you just watched kind of you watched a lot of businesses either fail or evolve. Yep. And it was during the same time of Netflix sending you DVDs to everything's online. Like, it was all that same time where everything kind of changed, and I really did have to adapt. But luckily, I was young at the time, so it was cool. But it was a shift. It was different. Even just the content, and the level of skill that you had to have as an artist. Like, it went from you had to actually be super dope to, you gotta be all right. You have to have more hustle than talent. You know, and I just kind of watched all these things, and you just had to adapt, and it was very interesting. And so during all that time, I was also learning how to engineer too. So it was just a lot of change.
Mad disruptive. The shit was mad disruptive.
It was hella shit.
It fucked up a lot of bags.
It did. It did, because I felt bad for the CD guy. Like, he went from balling to, I mean, I don't know where he's at now, but you know, shout out. Oh, I forgot his name. He's in El Cerrito. But, like, you know, I was getting CDs through him. Everybody was going in for CDs, and now it's like nobody prints CDs. So I wonder what he does now. Like, maybe he does. I think he does merch and stuff.
Yeah,
which is
he
cool.
probably just prints now.
Yeah, you just gotta print. Like, you gotta do something. Luckily, printing will never die for real. You
no,
always
it's always
gonna
be needed.
Yeah,
I think that's so interesting, like how you broke all that down, because a lot of people don't talk about that. We're living in history in real time. That's what I always tell people. Like, we haven't seen the results of what we went through yet. Like, we won't see it till like 20 years from now when they start releasing these case studies. Like, oh, people that consume social media from all day to this time have this diagnosis.
Do you ever think about that? They're gonna have.
I think about that all the time. Yeah, they're gonna talk about all this shit in the future.
Yeah, they're gonna have classes about this shit because it's not healthy.
I think it's crazy. Is like, nowadays you can't even figure out what's like real news or fake news now. So it's like, even if you do get that case study, you don't even know if that shit's true.
Right? Because somebody, like, people type fake headlines all the time.
Yep, repurpose content.
It's just it's hella shit, and I just know even just the amount of time that we spend on TikTok.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
It's sick. Like, I'll go through TikTok phases. So like, it'll be like I won't fuck with TikTok for like a month, and then like 1 week I'll just be on that bitch, and you'll be on that bitch for 3 hours, and you're like, well, how the fuck?
Like, damn, where'd my 3 hours go?
They're gonna have a whole class about that shit.
For sure.
Like, because this is weird.
It is weird.
I mean, I'm still gonna scroll.
Yeah, I'm still gonna scroll.
But
I'm still gonna be on
I'm still gonna scroll till they fucking cut my hand off.
I'm still run them ads.
Yeah, I'm still run a few ads. You know what I'm saying? I'm still gonna try to participate.
Yep.
Because I can adapt, but it is weird as fuck. Like, it is weird. And then you think about, like, when you don't have your phone and you're just existing, and you're like, wow, this is crazy. Everyone's on their phone right now.
Everyone see. You know what I so
Kiana's on her phone right now. Like, it's crazy.
She's probably waiting for that DoorDash.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we wait for the DoorDash. Happy birthday, Blanco.
Happy birthday, Blanco. It's funny because, like, when you were breaking all that stuff down about the whole print and stuff, like, I remember back in the day, I used to steal CDs from Best Buy.
Okay.
Like, at Black Friday.
Yes.
Like, no one would see you, so it's so easy to just hit a couple licks. And I remember my dad had just put me on how to burn CDs.
Okay.
So.
You was a CD man.
I was a CD man as well, yeah. But I was different though. I wasn't doing it for people. I was doing it for myself.
Oh, right.
So what I did is, like, I would steal the latest, like, VIC or Soulja Boy or it's like pop, lock, and drop it time period. So it's like I had a sidekick at the time. Like, you know, I was a little hustler as well. That's why I relate with your story. Because so long story short, I got all these CDs. My pops had the blanks, so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna make 5 copies of every album, and I'm gonna sell them for $5 on campus.
Period.
And I went to middle school at Davis, which is in South San Jose, so I was just slanging them things. But I remember I was like one of the only kids that had like extra $200, extra $100.
Right.
And at that age, you're like, oh,
shit,
shit, you a baller. You got a couple hundred.
Yeah.
But that's in me though. You feel me? Like what I'm trying to say is like to think that and to like go that extra mile to find some flip money. And I'm not taking my parents' lunch money because they wasn't giving it to me. Like I was like, how can I make some extra dollars? So my parents are immigrants. You know what I'm saying? They came from Nicaragua here like in the late 80s due to a civil war and all this shit going on, the politics in that side of the world. So when they came to San Jose, my parents had to work really hard for everything they have. You know what I'm saying? Like working at Shakey's Pizza. My mom was a manager at Jack in the Box for like 10 years.
Damn,
you know what I'm saying? So it's just like all those things.
Just hustle.
Yeah. So I say all that to ask you, like, where does that hustle come from within you? Because I definitely see a different hustle in you, even just based on the few things you've already talked about. Like, where does that come from? That's what I want to know.
So I'm on my mom's side. I'm a second generation American.
Nice.
So my mom's parents are both from Mexico.
Wow.
I think my grandpa, I always get this wrong, but I'm almost certain he's from Zacatecas.
Yeah.
And then I think my grandma's from Mexico City.
Wow.
Or some shit like that. Or it's opposite. I don't know. That's where they're from though. So I never got to meet my grandmother, but my grandpa, his name was Tony, and he was a ranchero. So like
old school.
Yeah. So my mom and all her siblings were raised on a ranch. So when I was little, my grandpa still worked on the ranch and my uncle worked on the ranch.
Wow.
So maybe starting from like my preteen years to like well into my late teen years, I worked on that ranch like every summer.
Wow.
Or like when I was sick, I would be there. Or if I had day off, I would go because my stepdad worked there too.
Yep.
In
Mexico.
No.
Okay.
In fucking Yerba Buena.
Okay.
No.
Sorry, I thought you was like, damn, girl, you was in Mexico.
No, I was not. I was not ranching in Mexico. That's different. That's some real cowboy shit.
Okay.
Nah, we were so
Yerba Buena. We're talking about San Jose.
The east, like in the hills. When you go to the east side and you see all them hills, like that's where they was at. So I used to work on the ranch. I worked on the ranch like quite a few summers in my teenage years, and I learned how to work hard. That was not no job where you get little breaks, and I mean you still got breaks, but it was different. Like I'm physical labor. Like you out there fixing fences. You out there picking up goat shit. Like you out there painting shit. Yeah, you out here. I remember that there's like a big house on the ranch, and there's like these like it's like a pavement. I don't fucking know, but in between the little bricks on the ground, like moss and shit grows. I remember
all that.
One of my jobs every summer, I had to get on my hands and knees and scrape that shit.
Wow.
Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of like
teen at this time.
Yeah, I was a teen. A lot of mowing lawns, a lot of picking up shit, just a lot of like physical labor.
Wow.
And it was cool. Like I liked it, but it was hard.
Yep.
And doing it, I was like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I know what I don't want to do.
I know what I don't want to do. But I respect it, and I love my uncle for teaching, and my stepdad for teaching me hard work. Because I think that gave me fuel to, first of all, no, I don't ever want to work for nobody. Because this is crazy as fuck. Like, this is hella shit.
It's hella shit.
Yeah, and but it gave me just a work ethic. Because, like, when you're doing physical labor, like, you want to get that shit done. Like, you don't want to, especially if it's hot. You don't want to be out there all day, so you want to do a good job and you want to do a quick job. And I think I kind of took that in all aspects of my life. I want to do it quick, but I want to do it well.
Wow.
And I want to do everything that I do well. And usually, I'm not going to lie, if I start doing something and I don't see potential, I quit. Fuck that. I keep going when I'm like, oh, I can get this, like when it excites me. So I just took that kind of mentality and applied it my whole life. And that was really, I dedicate that to my mom's side. She works really hard. And, you know, even on my dad's side, my stepmom, she worked for herself. She was a bookkeeper.
Oh, wow.
Or is a bookkeeper. Yep. So, you know, I would just go to her with her jobs and she made her own schedule. And I thought that was really fly.
Nice player.
You know what I'm saying? So I think from every side, because I grew up with 4 parents.
Yeah.
And so every side kind of taught me something, but I really dedicate. I gotta put it to the ranch. I gotta give it to the ranch. That taught me a lot.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was making music. I think I wrote my first song at like 8. You know, and so you take the music, Yeah, we used to be running around like we was outside, okay, off my ranch money. I was making bread, calluses on my hands, fucking
blisters.
Yeah, dark as shit from being in that fucking sun all day. My feet hurt. But
man,
I was young though, so it was cool. But yeah, no, that taught me a lot. And I kind of take that mentality wherever I go, just because I know hard work from a really, really young age, and I don't regret it. And shit, if I had the same opportunities when I have kids to put them in some hard shit, I will. Because it just teaches you. It teaches you discipline, and it teaches you how to complete a job.
That was actually my next question. Like, would you enforce that or have your kids do that when you got older?
If I had access to a ranch.
I got to get a ranch first.
You know what I'm saying? Do I want to live on a ranch? I don't know. I've been watching Yellowstone lately, and it kind of reminded me of the old days.
Everyone talks about Yellowstone. What the fuck is Yellowstone?
Okay, I thought it was like some white people shit, so I was like, I don't want to watch this shit. I think it's fire. It's like, okay, it's really cowboys and Indians.
Okay.
But like new.
Okay. Oh, current.
It's like current cowboys and Indians. You know how they used to funk and but this is like now. So like niggas got AKs and doing hella shit. Like, yeah.
Indians are strapped too now though.
No, the Indians was strapped. What?
They're strapped now too.
Because it was basically they're in Montana and there's reservation hella reservations in Montana versus this white man with a ranch that was stolen from the natives.
Yeah, yep.
And then but it's been in his family now for like 4 or 5 generations. So it's his shit to him. And they're like, "Bro, you took that." And so they don't really get along. But now the government is trying to come in and take Brez Ranch from him and develop it and make a new city.
Wow.
Because I mean that's what's happening.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Fuck y'all." No. Or they're trying to put an airport, in his ranch.
Oh,
so he's like, and then, of course, following the airport is, they want to develop it.
Wow.
And so he's fighting so hard for his ranch. And now the natives ain't got no choice but to team up with him because they understand and they don't want that shit, they don't want an airport. And so they really funkin' and
man, you got me sold.
It's actually
at least
fire.
Watch the trailer.
Yeah, I finished that shit during the holidays. I finished that whole shit. It was actually fire because I thought it was gonna be stupid. I was like, I don't like. You know what's crazy? I grew up on a ranch, but I hate anything with horses in it. I hate horse movies.
You don't like Seabiscuit?
Fuck no. I hate horse movies, horse shows. I hate all that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I literally don't know why.
Damn.
Because my cousin is a horse trainer.
Wow.
Yeah, shout out Lisa. She's a horse trainer, like private horse trainer. She's super dope. And so I don't not like horses. Like I'm cool with horses. I grew up around them. But I hate horse media.
Horse media.
Horse propaganda. I don't know. I think it's so boring.
That's hella funny. Hey.
Except Yellowstone is fire.
Yellowstone. Horse media, fire. Man. Watch out.
Yeah,
we got a tough critic over here.
Horse propaganda. No, I hate Seabiscuit though. Absolutely not.
I never watched it. I just always remembered the name.
Or what's that movie, Black Beauty? What was that old school movie? It was like an old horse movie. Black Beauty. Thought it was so boring and scary. Big ass scary horse. What the fuck? But I like horses in real life. Like I'll pet a horse. I'll talk to one.
Yeah. I'll talk to him.
I'll chop it up with a horse.
Conversation with him.
You know what I'm
saying? Nah, that's really dope. I appreciate you for sharing that. You know what I'm saying? That's super insightful on just your background and like where your hustle comes from. You know what I'm saying? There's always a source.
Oh, yeah.
Always a source of the hustle. That's why I had to figure out
where it
came from. Shit.
Just seeing your parents work hella hard?
The same, you know what I'm saying? My parents, like I said, they came to this country, my dad was 18 years old when he came.
Okay.
My mom was like 19. My dad worked at hella fucking, he worked at Jack in the Box, Burger King. My dad told me a story. He was like fucking making burgers on his break and like he would hide that shit and go feed himself during lunch and shit. You know what I mean? My parents, we all lived in an apartment, like in a garage in the east side.
Okay.
Like my whole family and shit.
Yeah.
And then, my dad got into real estate like in the 2007, 2008 time period, right before the crash. And he made enough money to buy a house on the South and he's been there since.
Fire.
You know what I'm saying? So he's definitely reaping the benefits of that equity-wise. And now, coming from all that, now he's a head IT at a tech company out here. So he does like troubleshooting and all this shit. And he works from home, you know what I'm saying? But, it took a long way, you know what I'm saying? Even he went back to school and shit, you know what I'm saying? So seeing my dad, like I don't got the most awesome relationship with my dad. Like we ain't fucking having these butt buddy conversations, but he like leads by example. You know what I'm saying? Just showing me the ropes on like how to do shit. And my mom, she's on a whole other script. She's just super like optimistic, positive, sunshine, like always spreading positivity. So like I feel like I get my spirit from my mom, but the work ethic I get from my dad. And the last thing I'll add is I used to work at the flea market when I was like 14.
Okay.
And
yes,
that shit,
hustle.
My aunt was selling fucking bullshit like gobblers and fucking random ass shit that people don't need. It's the flea market. People find one man's trash, another man's treasure type shit.
All the time. What? I fucking love it.
Yeah, I love the flea market. That's where I gained a huge like cultural appreciation for like Latino culture and like because there was a lot of like Latinos out there. You know what I'm saying? But
that's like every single weekend.
So my aunt, she's a custodian at Oak Grove. Still is to this day. But at that time, she would work at the flea market from 5 a.m. till 2 p.m. and then go to work custodian from like 3 till 11. And she's still on that type of time till this day. I'm talking about like back in the day she was doing that shit.
You be looking at like, God, how
dude, I don't know. And she owns the truck. She owns her house. Like she really hustles. So I started selling stuff with her, but like for her. I was getting paid like $50, you know, for the whole day there for like 10 hours.
Right. And you're not breaking down your hourly back then. Nah, you like, okay, I just did the wildest slave labor for
yeah, $50. This shit don't even add up. I don't even know how to do payroll now. I was just like, look. It wasn't until one day,
busted my ass,
bro. One day business was so bad, like it was so dry. I made like $20 for the same hours. Damn. And that was the last straw. I was like, I can't do this.
You're fucking playing me.
But I started bringing my own shit. I started bringing my sneakers and like my hats because I was always fresh. Like growing up, I was like, let me get the lids. I was always buying hella hats from lids and shit. So I would like use them for like a few months and I would resell them. Because like I felt like, you know, I was just always like trying to rotate my fits and shit. And I started making more money than my aunt and shit. And she was getting mad at me.
Like,
she was like, because you need to pay for this spot. Because I got this little table in front of her
like
whole
she about
shit.
to charge you booth rent.
Yeah, she was about to charge me booth rent. So she was feeling some type of way, but I still love her to death. You know, that's my aunt.
You sold hats? I sold hats for a little bit.
Yeah, hats.
Keanu, remember the hat guy? I had a whole hat. Yeah. There was this hat guy, and they were obviously replica hats.
Yeah.
I was selling them motherfuckers like hotcakes.
Hey, those things was going out.
Oh my God.
Snapbacks?
Ooh. Yeah, snapback season. Ooh, I was selling hella hats. All type of fake shit. Yeah. I'll pull up, I'll open my trunk, I have hella fucking hats. It didn't last long. I think Bucko went to jail. I don't remember. My hat. Yeah. My hat plug, something happened to him. I think he went to jail. I don't remember. But I do remember I had a hat plug for a cool second. I was flipping hats.
Yeah.
But I was like a grown ass adult.
No, I was flipping hats like too. It's hella funny. I was flipping them at my high school campus. Like I would bring a little duffel bag and I had like fucking like hella 10, hats. 12 hats. Damn. And I was selling them like every other week. Someone was like, hey, let me get this one. Or I would play people on Madden and I would whip their ass and steal their hats. Ooh. I was like, I'll bet you your hat. You know what I'm saying? And I started getting
the flyest hat. He was starting to prey on people like, oh, that nigga got a nice hat.
I was like, what's up, bro? Running up on FIFA, running up on Madden.
Right. Something you would be a pool shark with somebody with a nice hat. Like, oh,
I was getting them. This is like, you know, younger days. But yeah, to answer your question though, like my family and just working at the flea market. And then, you know, when I started doing EMLN, the clothes and stuff, I dropped out of De Anza. Like after playing ball and shit, fucked up my ankle. So I decided to just jump and do entrepreneurship like in 2015. And I literally saw people go to the flea market to sell their shit. So I started buying wholesale the clothes and going to the flea market from Wednesday through Sunday. Right. So I was going to Oakland, Oakland Coliseum, you know, right there.
Flea market. I've never been there. I drive past it every day.
Dude, I was making the most bread there. I was making the most bread there.
I drive past it and it's like lit, and I'm like, fuck, I need to go there. I just feel like if you was raised around the Bay Area, the flea market, like what flea market can compare?
Yeah.
I've never been to the Oakland flea market, but I'm just like, I'm from the Bay Area.
The thing that's sad about the Bay Area is that, you know, they're closing it down.
They're closing it down. I feel like that's so stupid.
There's a lot of politics behind all that. You know, you got rich people that own development for so long. Like, you know, they're gonna win if they sell it. Right. And, you know, if you own some and someone's like telling you, don't do it, it's bad for the culture, but you got someone here like, hey, you're going to secure millions of dollars.
Yeah, generational wealth.
Generational wealth, you know, so
But you're going to, like, destroy a piece of San Jose history.
Exactly, a whole culture landmark. So
do you want to sell out? Or it's hard to say. I'm not in that position, so I couldn't say. Because I don't know.
Yeah, motherfuckers be in tough positions and when you own and shit, so.
Yeah.
But, you know, we still got Capital Flea Market, you know what I'm saying? That's a huge spot.
I don't like Capital Flea Market.
Hey, that's my section, bro.
Oh,
You can't
I'm
be
sorry.
saying that.
I never liked it.
Nah, they got the drive-ins. What's there not to like? You
I
got
like
popcorn.
the drive-ins. I just feel like in comparison to the Berryessa was doper.
Berryessa is definitely bigger.
And they have fruit.
I don't know about doper, but bigger for sure.
And they have all the produce. The produce
They do
aisle.
got. Hey, we got produce too though, but it's definitely smaller though.
Oh yeah, no.
Hey,
Berryessa, that's where you get that shit.
But now though, they're the same size because
really?
they condensed it.
Yeah. Because last time I went to Berryessa I had to go get a blanket. I was like, I know exactly where I need to go.
Yep.
When I got my first apartment, I got my first apartment. I was like, this is not a home until I have a fucking tiger blanket.
A tiger blanket?
Yeah, so I went and got me a big ass tiger blanket.
Did you hear that law they passed in California that you can't buy anything fur related? There's like this new law that Gavin Newsom passed where it's like they can't sell fur.
Well, it's a fucking fake tiger blanket. What do you mean?
I don't know if that's classified as it, but they just announced that shit recently.
Like real fur or faux fur?
I think real fur.
Okay, cool. I can't afford that shit anyway. I ain't tripping. The fuck?
Yeah, but
they don't sell real fur at H&M. Okay.
Yeah, that shit. Yeah, I just remembered that. It just popped up right now. You just reminded me.
Wait, is this shot time for Blanco's birthday?
I think so.
Can you?
Are we in intermission, Blanco? Is it time?
We could take the shot.
Hey, we can take the shot live, man. It don't matter.
Whatever.
For the culture.
Okay, because it's not often.
Yep.
I'm on
that she's at the EMLN Podcast.
Oh, you keep calling it EMLN, and I'm saying EMLN.
She's like EMLN.
I was like EMLN. Like I can say it quickly.
No, it's funny. Like for me, how I view it is like I'm gonna have to earn the EMLN name as opposed to EMLN because Adidas is the same thing. All day I dream about sports, but now it's Adidas. Yeah. Oh. So it's an acronym.
Well, I'm glad they changed it.
Yeah.
That was hella shit. That's hella shit to remember.
Yeah. So the goal is to make it something that people off the top can just be like, oh, that's EMLN. You know what I'm saying? But
no, I've definitely recognized the logo for sure.
Yeah, we're trying to build some familiarity right here in the Bay.
That's what you know what's crazy? And I don't know if you were gonna ask me this, but I was just telling Kiana, like, I haven't lived in San Jose in like 10 years.
Wow.
No, maybe 11.
I didn't know that.
No, I haven't lived here since I was 18.
Wow.
So
it's been a cool minute then.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you out here though.
Okay, and I come home, but like me and Kiana was really outside. This is my best friend, and she bringing us shots.
Oh, yep.
Shout out Kiana. Yeah.
Should have brought a chaser.
Like we were.
Water it is.
Water is a great chaser.
Oh yeah.
Hydration. We were really outside.
Yep.
And, I tell you the story about me selling CDs. I was outside. I was doing shows, old school Johnny V's, okay? All the old shit. Like, I was really outside. But when I come here, I'm like, this is so different.
It's hella different.
It's hella. But you know what? The gentrification and $3,000 studios, hate that. But what I do love is, and I say you because y'all have created an art scene that I have never seen here before.
Wow.
Like, there's a beautiful art scene. There's a beautiful music scene that's popping up. There's always been a jazz scene. That's like part of San Jose culture for real. But just in terms of the media spaces, we are in a Silicon Valley, so why wouldn't we be the dopest at that shit?
Bro, we should be the dopest.
Like, there's no reason for it, and there's no reason that there's such a bridge between not just the Silicon Valley, but the whole Bay in general is a tech hub.
It is.
There's no reason that the techies and the creatives have such a huge gap between us.
I be stressing this so much. It's so funny you're saying that. Go ahead.
There's just no reason. There's no reason I run a Twitch stream full of creative jam sessions and we ain't got no Twitch deal yet. Have I reached out? No, not yet. But like, what are they doing? And just what are any of the big companies doing to reach out to local creatives? Like, there should be more of a connection, more of a bridge. And so just coming out here. Yeah, it will. It's boring. I think just as we get our names up and numbers up and whatever. But I do want to give you your flowers for just all of San Jose and just it looks completely different when it comes to the art scene. We didn't have this when I was making music and doing shows out here. It was not like this.
Yeah.
It was me, Yonix, City Sean.
I seen the picture he posted the other day.
Yeah, it was us. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of people. Hav always. Yep. It was a bunch of other people, but it was still small. Now. And it was very I'm not going to say street shit, but more like.
It was for sure.
It was streety as shit. Yeah, like it was more like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Yep. So where now, like, there's like a bunch of little artsy, like all type of cool, fun, fly, like lighthearted just fun, vibey shit. And I really appreciate it and I like it. And I want to get like a little bit more involved out here.
Hell yeah.
And that just comes with even just seeing what Nirvana Soul does.
Yep.
Like that's new. Shout out. I've never been there. I want to meet them really bad. It's across the street, so I'm gonna go over there. Yep. But just even seeing them, that's a Black woman owned coffee shop. They got 2 locations now. They was doing the open mics and shit. Like, so it's just it's a huge movement out here, and I'm very excited.
No, it's definitely, and first, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. You know, we put in a lot of work these last years, so any type of recognition always goes a long way. As far as the creative scene, though, I definitely agree with everything you said. Like, it is thriving, like it's growing, and it's not even at its peak yet. Yeah. Like, everyone is building some unique-ass shit. You know
and shout out Monk. I didn't shout out Monk.
Oh, yeah, Monk. You know what I'm saying? I always throw Monk in the equation. Yeah. He's like a pioneer. I always view him as like a pioneer. And I always let them know, like, bro, you are a big influence in the city.
That is, when you think of San Jose, you have to, like, if you're thinking of San Jose media, music, you have to think of Monk. Like, you can't not say his name. There's no fucking way. It's impossible. Like, he's tapped in with everybody. Everything. Everybody fucks with him.
To all levels, though.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, from the streets to the labels.
To the labels, to the weed, to the artists, to the singers, to the rappers. Like, from the Black people to the Mexican people, like everybody fucks with Monk. So I fuck with Monk. Shout out Monk. Yeah.
Shout out Monk. Yeah, but I guess the last thing I'll add to the whole scene is just that gentrification is prevalent. Yeah. Like, it is pushing people out. I know a lot of people don't own their houses or don't own where they live. They just pay rent at apartments. And the apartment is insane. Like, $3,500 for a 2-bedroom is just not feasible for most people.
I keep saying $3,000 studios because I swear I've seen that.
Oh, studio? Like just a 1-bedroom studio?
Yeah, like in the high rises.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely
those are like 3 bands.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about like Milo or whatever in front of City Hall and shit.
I can't afford to live out here. I'll tell you that.
It's crazy. Like
I respect you.
I gotta go further south and shit. You know, I gotta touch down on the home grounds and shit. Okay. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad the office is here. You know what I'm saying? Because we're in downtown. But I think downtown has a lot of potential. I just think that they need to really have a strategy for the economy here, because like a lot of the businesses have been falling out. Like, there's been a bunch of businesses in the last month and a half that have just closed for like,
because the economy's in shambles too. So it's like, if you was already struggling out here, now it's bad. Like,
there's people that I know that are homeless, right? But they're not just like people that don't got their shit together, they haven't figured out. It's like, nah, they just
can't afford it.
They had one emergency and that led to them being evicted, and now they don't have a place to stay. Right. And it's fucked up, you know what I'm saying? Because there's even fucking college students that come here and they're homeless. They go to school and all that shit. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
It's too fucking expensive, and that's crazy you say that. Like, a lot of people are one emergency away from, like, not having no place to live.
Bro, that was almost me last month.
It's fucked up.
It's fucked
Luckily,
up
in the East Bay, they still got the moratorium. They can't kick you out. But out here, they don't have that.
No,
like,
they don't.
Out here, you can still get evicted right now, and it's just like, we got to do something. It's not fair. Do we revolt? I don't know what we do. Do we all stop paying shit? What are you going to for? Can't kick us all out.
You can't kick us all out.
I don't know what we're going to do, but it's insane, and it's not fair, and it's fucked up because everybody then has to go move to the Modestos and Stocktons, which is cool. But that's really far. That's not my home.
Yep.
This is my home.
Yeah.
And for me to just even like look at apartments, I'm like, I can't. This doesn't make no sense. This is ridiculous.
This shit is insane.
Like, what the fuck? Like, the East Bay, like, I'm staying in a East Bay.
I was going to say, like, how much of a price difference do you think you're at right now? With
For what I have out here would probably be, Kiana, if my apartment, if I had it out here, how much would it be? I think it would be more. Have they? Okay, so my apartment might
You like 1-bedroom?
Yeah, I have a 1-bedroom.
Yeah.
I don't need
taxing.
Yeah, I think my shit would be like 28 for sure.
No, that sounds pretty accurate, 28.
Yeah, and it's not no like super plush new apartment, you know, like
just everything you need.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's what I can afford out there, but out here I probably couldn't make it make sense. I'll probably have a studio if I lived out here.
Yeah, on EYL they like put a ranking, and they had San Jose at number 1 of like
most expensive,
richest, and household medium income has to be at $300,000 in order to afford a house.
Cause all these niggas work in tech. We're creatives.
Oh, well, you know, I gotta be honest. I did work in tech for about a couple years.
Oh, did you?
Hey, you know, I had to leverage the cheers. I had to leverage for Blanco.
Happy birthday, Blanco. Whoop whoop. Blanco for Blanco.
Yeah,
So you worked
I
at
can't
tech.
do all that shit like y'all.
Woo!
I struggle. So when I started at Deanza and all that, I was working at Sprint.
Okay.
I was working like the mall. I was one of that guys like, hey man, how you doing? What kind of phone do you got?
Yes.
Can I talk to you for a second? Let me show you this plan real quick.
How much are you paying? Like, damn, watch my pockets.
Nah, that shit taught me a lot too though. But I eventually had enough sales experience where my mentor, my homie Timmy, shout out to Timmy, he was already working in tech. He was like, bro, you have skills that translate very well into this space. Right. You just got to figure out your etiquette and like you got to figure out the knowledge, the language. If you figure that shit out, you will do well. Mm-hmm. So he like took the time to like teach me and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like his whole process. And then eventually he put me on with a company in San Pedro Square area. Mm-hmm. And it was
where we're going later.
Yup, vibes. Yeah, and it's like it's a little weird because like, it's a corporate environment, you know what I'm saying? So I was working with a lot of people that just graduated. I didn't graduate. So like I already had a disadvantage going into it, but I had a reference. Remember what I said? Relationships, it's all about the people you know.
Listen, if you didn't learn anything in college like us, you learn how to have relationships. You learn how to finesse in a good way. You learn how to network. You learn how to use your resources. That's what college, I think, is all about and was
Connecting.
all about. Yeah, because I never went to no university, but what I learned from that shit, it was more hustle shit.
It was hustle. Yeah. But like when he put me on, like I was there and it was a pay cut, you know what I'm saying? Because I was working at the mall. I was a manager though at the mall. Okay. So I was managing people. I was getting pretty good salary and commission.
What mall you work at?
At Gray Mall in Eastridge. Oh, so I was bouncing around. But I was getting paid like I want to say like 80, 90. Okay. So I was doing pretty good. All right. Because it's commission. Mm-hmm. But then when I went to the other job at Tech, it went to 45. Oh, wow. It was a huge pay cut.
That's like half.
Huge. But the credentials were so valid. Mm-hmm. So I was like, dude, if I get through this for a year, I'm locked in.
Because then you can put that,
So, I did it for a year. And then it took a whole year and a half to get the job I wanted because the pandemic happened literally right before I ended there. And I got the space and I just jumped all in with all this shit for a year. But then I applied for 100 like different applications. I did rounds of interviews. I'm talking about like I had to do presentations. I had to do like 3 rounds of like talking from the manager to the lead to the director, all that.
It's a vigorous interview.
Super vigorous. Yeah. But it was like 100. I'm not even exaggerating. It was 100+ interviews I did.
Oh my God! Like pick me or not.
So exactly. And then when I landed it, it was I'm not gonna lie, it was life changing because it gave me remote work. Like I was able to work from my house, and then I had hella flexibility. I had benefits. I got paid well. So honestly, I see a lot of opportunity in tech. Like how you said, as creatives, like finding a gap where we can like bridge creativity and tech. I think there's a huge market for that. Like I don't know if you ever heard of Idris
Elba.
Not Elba. I would say Idris Elba. I think his name's Idris, but he's the one that worked with Nipsey Hussle and built the marathon geofencing at the store and did all the AR stuff that he did. Okay. Basically, he did all the technology stuff. You ever watched the Hacking Culture interview with Gary Vee and Nipsey? He asked him how he met him. He met at a Starbucks. Oh, wow. And he was doing some like crazy like wires to the finger type shit. And Nipsey was like, dude, that shit's crazy. What are you doing? Right. So long story short, this guy now though, he's doing like Apple presentations. Like he's in the audience and he's showing people like fashion, but it's like technology in the fashion. Okay. So he's doing some crazy shit. I'll send you some shit. You can take a look at it.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
But I see that angle. That's the angle I want to do.
That's creative.
It's creative.
Yeah.
As far as the sales shit, I'm just good at it. I'm a salesperson at heart. I'm a business guy at heart. I'm a hustler. You know what I'm saying? So I just was good at it, and I leveraged, my whole situation. But that's not what I wanted to do forever. I eventually resigned. You know what I'm saying? But I just, I dabbled in it for a few years, and I think there's a lot of people in the community right now that could really reap benefits from tech. Like, because to be honest, it's not like you're coding. You're not doing coding. All like if you're already selling shit to people, you can literally do the same exact thing with $1 million softwares.
Right. You just have to learn a little bit of verbiage.
Bro, we used to get like, I know people that worked at shoe houses get commissioned for selling shoes. You sold like 100 shoes, you got like extra $50. Right. Imagine selling one software and you get $2,000-$3,000 extra on what you already get paid, and you're already getting paid good.
And it's not like you're the one designing it. Like, you just have to know how to sell it.
So back to the whole gentrification thing. Like, the only thing that I'm really critical about when it comes to the tech is that they need to hire more minorities, and they need to hire more Black and brown people, and they need to make it more they do this thing called a culture fit. Like, oh, are you a culture fit? Like, you adapt to our environment. But there's a thing called imposter syndrome,
Right.
where it's like you're in an environment where no one looks like you.
It doesn't make fucking sense.
So you kind of like question if this is the right place. And I felt that a lot because when I was going there, it was a bunch of young college kids that they didn't even want to do sales. They were just like, this is the way to go.
Easy. Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, bro, I'm locked in. Rejection, I've already been through that. Cold call. But yeah, tech is, they need to step up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was always trying to say.
No, definitely. I'm just like, I'm thinking like, damn.
Nah, but it's cool though. It's like, I think, did you hear about the Google thing? The Google
How they
campus?
laid hella people off?
Oh, that too. They did lay off hella people. And they were tripping on Elon Musk for laying off 2,000 people, but Google laid off 12,000 people.
Yeah, they laid
but
off
nobody
hella
talks
people.
about that.
Yeah.
But anywho, downtown, you know where Alameda's at, like right by SAP and also Whole Foods and all the way down. So Google bought all that.
Oh.
They making
like
a campus.
Land? Oh.
They're building a whole campus.
SAP or they didn't buy SAP?
Not SAP, but like right
all
down the
it.
way. Right down the way. Like
yeah,
right by
I
the
used
Whole
to get
Foods.
my hair done over there. Yeah.
Yep.
I love that Whole Foods. It's a bar on the top, right?
Yep. That's just a vibe too. I go up there.
It's a vibe. I like that.
Get a little wine. You know what I'm saying? A little wine action.
Yeah, and they have your little Whole Foods food from downstairs. Yeah.
Yep. Hey, you know one of the best crossfades is like when you smoke a wood and then you have red wine.
Oh.
It's one of the best crossfades ever.
I don't like to smoke and drink because it makes me dizzy.
It's got to be a right time. You can't be out and about. It's got to be like you at the house.
I'd be like
vibing.
2 puffs.
You know, yeah. I don't know about 2 puffs. I'll probably hit the whole shit to the face.
Okay, but you're a smoker.
Yeah, I'm a smoker.
If I smoke a whole thing to the face, I'm in the fetal position quickly.
Oh, God.
I'm never gonna smoke again.
I be tripping out how some people can't smoke.
I can't smoke. I really wish I could.
Yeah.
It's healthier than drinking. Are you kidding me? I would love to be a smoker.
Yeah.
I think when we were younger, I could smoke a lot more because we smoked. But I was never comfortable. I just made myself do it to be cool. We used to be high, Yana.
I tried to smoke and I couldn't get high, and I was like, this ain't for me. I used to be one of those kids that was hella locked in on sports, so I was shaming my friends, like, bro, why you smoking, bro? Get your shit together.
Right, as you smoking spliffs now, doing hella shit.
Rolling this shit up now. No, my boy Noah be flaming me all the time. All the time I bring this shit up. He's
what high school you went to?
I went to Oak Grove.
Oak Grove.
Yeah, I'm a Grove boy.
Do you know Denisha?
I feel like that name sounds so familiar.
Denisha Graves?
It sounds even more familiar. Why do I recognize that name?
She light skinned?
I feel like I know. Yeah.
Because he got to be the same age as her.
No, I think I remember who you're talking about. She's older than me. She's like a class.
Oh, she was one class above you.
I remember her.
Yes,
yeah. No,
that's our partner.
Shout out.
That's the only friend I really had at Oak Grove. I don't know who else.
Yeah.
Blanco, where'd you go to high school? Oh, okay.
Yeah, my SoCal brother right here. You know what I'm
right.
saying? He tapping into the shark culture.
Or cuz.
Yeah. The tank love for sure.
I love the tank.
So are we still gonna do the intermission, or are we gonna just continue? Okay, because I still had questions. We were just vibing, so I was I want to ask you about StudioX. So let's talk about StudioX, because like I was mentioning to you offline, like I was really impressed on the way you navigated that. I know it's hard to manage a small business on its own. We're talking about logistics, budgeting, working with interns, managing people, facilitating time management.
Yes.
Like I know you kind of have your project management tools.
Shit I've never done before.
All this stuff that we have to learn on the go, right? That's what entrepreneurship's all about, just kind of figuring it out on the go. And even if you don't have a plan, you're just optimistic that you're gonna figure it out. Blanco, I know we figure shit out like on the go. Like that's just how it be. So at what point did you know StudioX was going to be a real thing? Like when did you realize like, oh shit, this could really be a real thing?
So I always knew I wanted my own studio. And we were at Tunes. I was at Tune for a minute. That was the first studio I ever worked at. And then the pandemic hit and it kind of dissolved just because it was just hella shit going on.
Yeah.
And so the studio side kind of, the other engineer, shout out Bars, he's actually like one of my first mentors, and it was me and him at Tune Studios, and Jeff owned it. And, we were all just working on our own shit at that point. And so it kind of fizzled out in a cool way, because, Jeff was still doing his thing, but he was more on the print side.
Yeah.
Bars at this time was a 2-time Grammy Award winner.
Wow.
Yeah, he won 2 Grammys for mixing or recording, whatever, for working. with this artist named Fantastic Negrito. So he was on his second Grammy. So he was doing projects. And then me, I was at this time, I had just had a song on the radio.
Wow.
I was getting booked. I was
Just doing your thing.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be a rap star. The fuck?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I was ready to be a rap star. I was like, yeah, engineering is cool and I'm still doing it to make money, but I just want to do me.
Yep.
You know, I just want to focus on what I got going on. So we all kind of went our separate ways, and then COVID like really, really hit, and I was like, oh. But like I was still doing sessions from like the house, or I was taking on mixing work. I'm not gonna lie, I had a great COVID because everybody was rich.
Yep.
And everybody got to like feed into their music careers finally because they had time and they had money.
Yep.
So I was doing fucking phenomenal. Oh my God. Rest in peace to all the people COVID took from us. It was very unfortunate, but goddamn, the money.
Yeah.
That sounded crazy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm just saying.
She said R.I.P.
Listen.
But this bag was real.
It like COVID had two sides to it. COVID was fucked up and it was terrifying because you didn't know what the fuck was gonna happen. It was very scary. We were fucking washing groceries and shit. Like we was doing hella extra shit. It was terrifying. Didn't know. I was taking showers with Dawn soap. Are you kidding me? I had liquid fucking dish detergent in my shower. So that was one side of COVID. The other side of COVID was the goddamn the EDDs, the PPPs,
so much shit.
The ABCs. I don't give a fuck. Whatever the fuck. Okay,
Facts.
like everybody had hella bread, so it was just like while it was this big scary time, I couldn't see my mom. I couldn't do nothing. That was fucked up. But everybody just kept sending me work, and so like. I just had hella work to do. And then I worked at this studio. I found another studio in Hayward called CMP Cutthroat Mode. Rest in peace, Juice. I worked there for a while, and I was just running it up for real. And at the time, this was before I moved out. So I was living in a garage, so my rent was next to nothing. And I flipped the garage into a studio/living space. So my shit was fly. My little garage was fly. Shout out Anita. Shout out Tessie. But I was just running it up, and I just had hella money, and I was just like, "What am I gonna what am I gonna do?" So, I moved out finally because shit, it was just hella.
2020.
This was 2020, and it was good. It was financially, it was really good.
Was flipping shit, hustling,
and a lot of the studios were closed, so it was just like I was still taking sessions because, like, the fuck, I gotta eat.
Fuck all that,
like what am I gonna do? Not make no money? Like, that's the fuck. And 100%. As an entrepreneur. Your EDD ain't shit. As an entrepreneur, you're getting a quarter, a piece, a fucking percentage, a small percentage of what all your employee friends was making.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, I can't live off EDD. So like, what am I gonna do? So, ran it up, moved out. I was just being nosy one day on Craigslist, and I found this space, and I was like, oh, this is cool. It's like a loft, and I was like, this is actually really fly, and so. I was like, I'm gonna get no studio right now. But I remember there's a mastering engineer, and she told me, what's her name? It doesn't matter. It does, but I forgot it. Her first name Jessica though. I think her name Jessica Thompson, and she's mastering engineer. And I remember sitting in with her one time in a session, and she was like, I was like, what's your biggest like piece of like one solid piece of advice like you could give me if possible? And she was like, start buying gear. Start buying gear now. Yeah. Before like you're at the last minute and you need to buy a bunch of stuff. Like you already have it. So I took that advice and I've been buying gear since then. So I've always had enough gear to uproot and do whatever I wanted and set up. Because the gear is the most expensive part. Facts. The gear and the build out. But if you already got the gear taken care of, all you got to worry about is the build out. So I looked at this loft in Oakland, and I just imagined it was mine already. Like I walked in, and you know Mickey Shiloh? She created this company / label called Hard Drive. She's super, super dope. She used to work with Trax Million a lot.
Wow.
And
legend.
Yeah, definitely. She's a legend too. And I remember she posted on Instagram or something and basically just saying like, you have to imagine yourself with certain shit. Like you just have to imagine it already. You can't say, I hope this is gonna, like, this is mine. And so I just always remember that. So when I walked into this space, I said, this is my space. This is my studio. Because, I had looked at studio spaces before that, and it was all right. I was like, oh, I hope I get this. But when I walked in here, I said, oh, this is my studio. This is actually going to be my studio. Like, I felt that shit.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because the building that we're in used to be Green Day's studio. So Green Day used to own the whole building.
Wow.
And so there's just like a lot of people say too when they walk in, you gotta pull up. But a lot of people walk in and say, wow, it feels good in here. Like it's just got good energy.
Good vibes.
It's good. It genuinely has a great vibe when you walk in. And I'm not gonna take all the credit. I think Green Day was making, I don't know what the fuck they made in that studio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think the building just has a good vibe, and I have always had a good optimistic energy about it. Like I know what I want to do. Like I know how I want to go about it. I feel like in this industry there's two ways you can go about it. In this industry you can snake people to get ahead. Yeah. And it works. It's effective. It works. There's a lot of sneaky motherfuckers that have wiggled their way to the top. And they move and gain influence with fear. Because people are they either get finessed by them or they're scared of them. And then on the other side, you have genuine people that mean well, that people are attracted to. So I know I'm on that side of things. I know that people fuck with me because I don't have no weird ill will. Like I just want to do good.
Business.
I want to do good business. I want to do great. I want to put people on. I want everybody I fuck with to be rich. Yep. Like I'm not finna like sit here and take all the bread up front and not give nobody no back end who helped me. Like I'll never move like that. So
integrity.
And integrity. So that's how I move. That's how I do things. And I've never done the snaky shit. Like that's not for me. So I feel like just even having that, people recognize that. And that's the kind of people I surround myself with. So when they come to the studio, they feel that. I feel like our studio filters out people who don't need to be there. People that don't need to be in your space or in my space, they usually don't come and they don't feel welcome. And it's not that I don't make you feel welcome. You just might feel weird in here. Yeah. So I say all that to say that was the energy that I got when I first.
That's a big fact, though. That's a big important element.
The energy. Yeah, it's just the energy. And, it wasn't set up as a studio. So where I'm at it's in this big studio building. There's, some legendary people that I share this building with that have studios next to me that are already set up to be studios, like built out. My shit it was called the lounge. So when people booked big slots in the studios next to me, they would my space was where they would sleep and play video games. And my shit got a shower and a really nice bathroom and a kitchen. Wow. I was in the lounge. Wow. But they were ready to have somebody move in because it was just super unoccupied. So like when I moved in, there was bunk beds in there. Like that was where people would sleep. So we took it and we built out the top. We put a studio up there. Downstairs is just this huge open space, and we built it out. And I didn't have any partners. Like I just I looked at it. I saw how much it was going to cost. I saw how much gear I had. I saw my clientele that I had. Yeah. And I said, I can do this.
You make that risk.
I'm scared. Yeah. Terrified because this is a leap. Yep. I don't know that I'm going to be good, but I know that I'm going to be good. Yep. So I'm just like, all right. So I did it. I fucking did it. And we're like a year and a half now. We're still growing. We're still building, but we have a fucking rock star team. Oh my God, I have an all-star team. Yep. And like, it's crazy. Yeah. And it was just, because at first it was just me. And then I brought on one engineer, and then it was just us two for a while. And then maybe starting like last year, I started bringing more people on. And, it's just turned into something that I don't think anybody's ever seen out here.
Yep. No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? We do.
No, you do hella shit.
We do hella shit. And just, and just our the way we stress R&B. Like I know we're going to be like the center for R&B. Wow. Like that's what we're so good at it. And I have a rock star vocal producer. Her name's Tyler Reese. And she's an amazing singer herself. But she's a vocal coach. Wow. And so like,
I think I seen that on your Instagram. Yeah. You had like a session.
Yeah.
Teaching people.
Exactly. That's what she does. And so she's an amazing teacher. So even just having her come in and like all the singers, if you ain't come to StudioX and work with Tyler, you haven't worked at StudioX yet. Like you have, they all know to work with Tyler. I tell them like, if it's a singer, I'm like, okay, cool, we can still work, but we need to bring Tyler in.
Yeah.
And Tyler flips people's records. It's crazy the progress I've seen her give people. You know what I'm saying? So it's just things like that. We have Zuko, who started out as an intern. So the very first intern I have is now an engineer at the studio. And then we have MJ, who does all our streaming, and he's like a wizard. I'll talk to you about that later. Like, he's super dope. He does all our streaming and everything, and he just knows how to do everything, but all the techie, like super techie shit that I don't know how to fucking do. And then we brought on Rossi, who I've known for a really long time, an amazing producer, artist. He does graphic design. He does everything. And it's just like we're building this team of people, and then just the people that fuck with us and that are around us are super great and always promote us and put us on. And, you know, luckily I've been doing this so long, I have the resources to, when I want to do events or I have ideas, I can just bring people together. And, you know, people like TK, I'll call TK like, yo, I got a job for us, but also I want to do this. Like, I have this idea. Or, you know, people like Hella Frames, who's also another super dope content creator, videographer, director. You know, that's my partner. And so there's just like so many people that I know that, like, now that I have a space, we can do shit. Like, we can do a fucking any given bars at the studio if we want. Like, you know what I'm saying?
The town segment.
Okay, like a town, like a East Bay version, or just easier out there for everybody to get to. Like, it's just like, I love having a space to do it, and just to be able to any idea that I have, I don't have to ask hella people. I don't have to wait. I just do it. Like, if I have the resources and we could get the money, I'ma do it. Yeah.
That's the biggest thing right there. Just whenever you want, you can do whatever you want.
You just do it. You don't have to answer nobody. And I'm the type of, you know, leading a team, even because we were talking about like just all the new shit that I've had to do. Never had to, you know, as an engineer.
Learn as you go.
Yeah, as an engineer, you dolo. You to the neck. You don't gotta worry about leading no team. You don't gotta worry about no HR shit. You don't gotta, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to do none of that.
You are HR.
You are HR. Like, who the fuck I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, what am I gonna complain about? Like, I don't really. But now it's just like there's so many new elements, but I'm maneuvering, I'm working through, I'm learning delegation, I'm learning the power of team and community and people, and it's been fun. I'm learning a lot. But that's Khalil.
No,
he live right around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I told him we going to happy hour. He said, what?
No, that's huge. I'm glad you broke it all down like that, because like a lot of people see what you're doing on social media, but they don't know the work that goes behind. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of managing. Like, the expenses is already intimidating as it is, you know? So figuring out the revenue streams and making sure that the rent's covered, your staff's covered, and you know, the clientele is consistent. But like you said, you were able to manage what you already built beforehand and leveraged it for your current situation. So I just wanted you to share that with the audience, because a lot of people think this shit's like cake. Like, they think it's, you know, some people think it's so easy to
Does it make you cry at night sometimes?
I don't know if it makes me cry at night, but shit. I started think. Oh, you talking about like in general, like, does the whole vision make you go crazy? Hell yeah.
Have you ever cried at night? Okay, well, maybe you're not a crier.
Maybe I'm just like,
have you ever like
heaving and shit?
Have you punched a wall or just not been able to sleep over this shit?
I've definitely
over either the culture night market or this space. Like,
yeah, I've expressed my stress in different ways.
Okay,
sure.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Like, this is different.
Yeah, it is
like
different.
I have gone to sleep like crying a little bit. Maybe not sobbing.
Yeah.
But tear up.
Like, fuck.
But then on the other hand, the other way to cry, a happy cry. I have walked into my space, just walking through. Some people don't know who I am sometimes when I walk in.
Yeah.
And just seeing people create and be happy as fuck.
Yep.
And even with these jam sessions that we're doing, where these people are making the sweetest, most beautiful, pure, genuine, from the heart music I've ever heard.
Yep. In
my shit.
Art.
That's crazy.
It is.
Like, and then it makes it all worth it. All them stressful nights or them days, you don't know how you gonna pay bills this month because this shit is like, what the fuck? You know, like, it like pays off in more ways than just monetary ways. Like, this shit pays off emotionally and spiritually to where, like, you know, it has to work. Like, this is gonna work. There's no way it's not. Like, it's gonna fucking work, you know? And you just have to go through the hiccups and you have to trust the process, because I can't wait till shit is up and we on our 3rd, 4th location.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm over here stressing about the first spot.
Yep.
Same for you. When Culture Night Market is in a whole other city.
Yep.
And you reminiscing on.
Don't know yet.
Okay. Oh shit.
Oh no, just like
I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm not like trying to.
You talking shit. You talking your shit.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say though is to emphasize your point is fulfillment.
Okay.
Like fulfillment is that you can't. There's no monetary compensation that equates to the fulfillment.
You can't put a price on that shit, especially if it's something you love.
Yep.
Like, I could understand if it was a business that you're kind of just investing in on some investor shit. It's not really our shit. Like, if somebody if somebody asked me to go in on a restaurant and I had the funds, the means to, I wouldn't be that passionate about it. If it did good, I'd be like, fuck yeah, cool.
Better be my favorite food or some shit.
Yeah, but but the money need to be right. If I invest in a restaurant, because I don't really care about it that much. Like, that's not my passion. Music is my everything, my all. Like, that has got me through my whole life. Yeah. So it's just like, but if I were to invest in something else, part of the reason I think I didn't really want an investor, you're not going to care about it the way I care about it. Yeah. Like, this is it. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to do the first one alone.
And I think in entrepreneurship, it's good to go through the journey, because I feel like eventually, like, my goal eventually is to become an investor and to be at a point where it's like I can invest in someone's vision and I believe in it and it can benefit everyone. But like, we're still like, I'm gonna speak for myself. Like, I'm still ground level entrepreneur. So like, I'm not thinking like that. That's like some Gary Vee thought process. Like, until I'm hitting 6 figures, doing what I love in multiple facets, then I can start thinking like, all right, maybe I can invest in someone's vision. But
it's still good to know, to have that thought, though.
Oh, I think it is important.
Yeah, like, I know.
Because you said, like, learning engineering, learning the producing. Like, Nipsey said that in an interview, too. He was like, I learned how to do all that shit, so then if somebody did some fucked up shit or they fucked it up, I knew exactly where to correct them and, like, how to make sure the process was totally done correctly. You know what I'm saying?
It's just like the greatest chefs and restaurant owners have done every job in food. Same shit. Same with entrepreneurship. Whatever lane you're in, if you're in media, like, you should be behind the camera every now and then.
All the time. Exactly.
You know what
front
I'm saying?
and back.
Yeah, like, you have to kind of just know. That way you know what to expect. You know, when you're hiring a team, you know what to hire. Like, you know.
The bosses.
You know what I'm saying? This boss talk is
boss
like,
talk.
This is like our early boss talk, because I want to circle back in about 10 years and do it again.
Exactly. In a bigger and better fashion.
Yeah. Oh no, we gonna be all right.
Nah, Xarina, speaking facts, I want to go ahead and conclude the podcast because we got 4% on the motherfucking cameras.
We was talking.
We was talking that shit though. Gems dropped left and right, top to bottom.
All right.
I want to say first and foremost, thank you so much for coming to the podcast. I appreciate you commuting from the East Bay to the South Bay right here in downtown San Jose. I know it's at least a 45-minute drive. And you know, gas is different right now, so every little expense matters. So I appreciate your time.
No, I'm staying here for the day. I said, I'm going to San Jose. Oh no, I'm gonna be here till nighttime for sure.
Yeah, no, it's going down.
No, this is not gonna be a quick trip. We're gonna do hellish shenanigans.
That's how I think too. When I go somewhere, I'm like, all right, what we gonna eat? What we gonna stop by? What's the view? What we gonna smoke at? What we gonna drink? You know
I made an announcement on Instagram. I said, if you want to see me speak now or forever hold your peace. I don't know when I'm coming back here. Shit.
That part.
We are outside. Catch me at San Pedro.
Yep.
Okay.
Anything you want to tell audience of what you have coming up, what to expect, anticipation, anything like that?
I guess you know, stay locked in with StudioX, StudioX 510, however you want to do it, on Instagram, and we have all types of events. We do our jam sessions. We have First Friday collaborative sessions where any music artist can come and create with people that they've never worked with, never met before. And then we just always have events going on. Just follow the page, because anytime I have an idea, I'm execute. So like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm always gonna do some shit. So follow us. It's something for everybody. Music wise, I'm dropping. I just looked at my phone. I have 70 unreleased records. It's actually sickening. I haven't put out music.
We need it.
I'm saying I haven't put out music since before COVID, and I'm not trying to be a superstar, but I do have a lot of music that's just sitting here. So
only a matter of time.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna drop it. So we're gonna be back on that type of time. And yeah, just keep grinding. Don't let nobody tell you shit. Don't let nobody tell you shit. How about that? That's my biggest takeaway from this whole shit. And then I want to just shout out you, shout out my best friend, SD Key. What's Instagram? At SESTIE.KY for all your waxes, lashes,
that's a real friend right there.
facials.
Yep.
If you need a facial, she does great man facials.
Yep.
Okay, you gotta take care of your skin.
I put some lotion, you know what I'm saying?
We need a little more.
I put some cleanser.
We need some
serum.
serum,
you know what I'm
CQ.
I put the layers.
Okay, listen.
I put the layers.
Well, if you need a good esthetician, SD Key on Instagram, and just shout out everybody. Shout out everybody from the studio: Tyler, Zuko, MJ, Rossi. We have a new producer we're adding to the team, Smooth, and shout out 3. We're just gonna taking shit over. I'm excited in a good way. We're all taking shit over.
No, we taking it over,
and there's enough space for all of us.
As I was gonna say, bosses can coexist.
No, literally,
it's enough for everyone to eat.
Yeah,
we Silicon Valley, bro.
Okay.